What's happening, everybody? It's your man, damednydc. Welcome to a brand new episode of King's Two Mics Up, King's Corner. This new edition, man. Rolling this out, really giving you more insight to me, some of my thoughts, ideas, and I really want to focus on, tips and things for business owners, entrepreneurs, um, that'll really help others, in their journey. And one of the questions that I've actually received a lot recently, people are asking me about, what are the steps that I use or have used to start my business, if you will, and what they are that have helped me to succeed and continue to succeed. And I thought that was a really interesting question, because now that the show is starting to gain some success, we're going into our third year, we're going into our fifth season. Um, it just really made me have to, really think about, some of the ways that I started and how I've shifted and where I am now to help that success or really build on that success, if you will, and continue forward. So many of you, probably know by now, I do love podcasts. I love podcasting. And now the podcast has really turned into more of a TV show. We're on network TV with the Mogul TV, global network family. And I'm really excited about talking about like a lot of the new businesses that we highlight, the organizations that we highlight, the celebrities now that are taking time out to join me here on Two Mics Up. But like I said, as a startup or a business, if you will, I had to really come to grips with things, really as it related to how I wanted to operate my show, as a new startup, if you will. So one of the first tips that I want to share is, know yourself. And when I say know yourself, know your true motivational level. The amount of money you can risk and what you're willing to do to be successful. I think that's really key. So we all want to make millions of dollars. Let's be honest with you can love something and you're really passionate about it, but at some point you want to start seeing some money come in. But what are you really willing to give up to achieve or reach that goal? How many hours a week, will you work on an ongoing basis? How far out of your comfort zone are you willing to stretch yourself? These are all very important questions you need to ask, especially if you're an entrepreneur or small business and you still have a 9 to 5 and you still have bills to pay and you still have other responsibilities. So really, to be successful, keep your business plan or your business plans, because they do change, in line with your personal and family goals and your financial resources. That's really important. That's the first tip I really want everyone to understand. That's huge. In anything, that should be your foundation, if you ask me, moving forward. Now, this tip is really for those who are really into merchandise or you want to sell things. Right now with Two Mics Up, I do have some merchandise that we're formulating. We have online that we're selling, but I'm not pushing it. That's not my main goal at the time. But for those who are, be sure that there really is a market, if you will, for what you want to sell. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of startups and new business owners can do is assume that a lot of people want to buy a particular product or service because the business owner likes it. You like it. It's your idea. Of course, it's your baby. And you just automatically assume everybody's going to run out and buy it. Be careful. To minimize your risk of loss. Never assume there's a market. Go out and do all the research that you can. Talk to real potential, prospects who aren't your family and friends. That's really important. Don't talk to your family don't talk to your family and friends, but go out and find out if what you really want to sell is something that other people would be interested in buying, and if so, find out what they'd be willing to pay for it. That's really critical. You know, Everybody, your friends and your family is going to go ahead and give you some great ideas and all that other good stuff, but you know, really go out and talk to other people outside and find out if there is a real interest for and a real want for, and what that price point or what that value is to others. It's really important. Now, I say all of that because that is part of the research. But then you also want to research your competitors. You're not the only one out here. Hey, Dame D, and Two Mics Up, we're not the only podcast out here. There are so many other talented podcasts and so many other talented TV shows with so much out here. You really have to do your research, and that's something that I'm really big on. I like to watch and see what a lot of my competition is doing, here in my own backyard, even on the grander scale, the larger, fish in the sea that have made it. You really should watch. There's a blueprint there, and you can take piece of everything that you see, formulate it into yours. But research is key. Research your competitors. No matter what type of business you're starting or running, you'll have competitors, like I said. Even if there's no other business that's offering exactly, what you plan to sell, there's more than likely, other products already out there, or will be other products or services out there that you target customers are using already that satisfies their needs. So just keep that in mind. Research your competition. Competitive research is something you should plan on doing on an ongoing basis. I've been doing it continuously. If there really aren't any other competitors out there, it's possible there isn't a market or a real need for what you want to sell. So that's the flip side of it. Pay attention to that. Don't be blind to that aspect. Next thing, and the next tip, and this is huge. I find this with a lot of people that I've had the opportunity to talk to. So many people have that I know personally want to do podcasts that I said, hey, let's sit down. I'd be happy to walk you through how I got started. Because at the end of the day, what is meant for me, what is meant for Damon, what is meant for Dame D NYDC, what is meant for Two Mics Up has already been, preordained. There's enough room out here for everybody. Yes, we're in competition, but I'm not in competition, if that makes any sense. So it's already preordained how mine is going to happen, or how my road or where I go is going to play out. And so was yours. So there's no fear in helping someone out. I have no problem with that. The exchange of information and knowledge can be beneficial to both parties involved, all parties involved. But the biggest thing is don't procrastinate. That procrastinating part will hinder you and hurt you probably the most. You probably heard some people in business advise you, it's too soon to not move ahead with your business until you've investigated every last detail of the business. You've got to make sure all your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. You got to have this, you got to have that, and you got to make sure you have this. And before you do this, you got to do that. And they're telling you that because, again, we all want to be profitable. They say that it takes almost 2 years, first of all, before you can even really say you're a business, because most businesses fold within 2 years. So if you make it to the 2 year mark, okay, yeah, you might not be profitable, but usually they say sometimes it takes up to 5 to 7 years before a business becomes profitable. So stay the course, but don't procrastinate. The more you procrastinate, the longer that window goes. And then the more opportunities for others to jump in and highlight and sell the products that you thought, were a need. Now the competition pool has gotten bigger because you procrastinated. And it's also that, the problem with that approach of hey, wait, get all your I's and T's dotted and crossed, is that no one ever really has all the pieces in place. I mean, let's just be honest. Starting a business, you don't have all the pieces in place. You won't have all the pieces in place. But if you're trying to make everything perfect before you actually launch, you may never get around to starting your business at all. So don't wait. Don't delay. Don't psych yourself out of getting your business off the ground and getting launched and getting out into the fray and figuring out your way. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. It's important. Last tip I want to give, and I think this is outside of don't procrastinate, this tip right here it's probably for me in the industry that I'm in, with social media and everything that comes with it. It's just don't get fixated or demoralized by any mistakes that you may do in your business. Don't get uh, fixated on the comments that people may say. Don't get demoralized by the fact, why aren't people liking this? Why aren't people liking that? Oh, you thought that this was a great post or this was a great idea, and people are not picking up on it. Don't fixate on that. Don't get demoralized by that. The difference between successful people and everyone else is that successful people learn from their mistakes and move on. Huge, huge, huge statement. Learn from your mistakes. Don't fixate on them. Move on. Huge. They don't dwell on, people who are successful, they don't dwell on failure. Failure is something that's learned. You fail from it, now it's a learned thing. So what do you do differently, right? It's not a failure. You've learned something. Don't blame things on the economy. We all know the economy's bad. We're all pretty much in the same boat with the economy. They don't, those who've made it, they don't curse bad luck or their own bad luck sometimes. Sometimes they don't even blame other people for their fate or their failure. You have to develop that same type of mentality, that same type of tough skin, and see things through to the end. Because the quickest thing that can really set people off or stop them from moving forward is fixating on mistakes or getting demoralized by people's comments, or your product or item not moving the way that you thought it should or would. If the path to the goal is blocked, keep it real, y'all. You got to look for an alternative path, right? Because sometimes choosing a different path, makes it more of an attainable goal. Don't keep running into that wall. Go through the door. Simple, right? Simple. So those are my 5 tips today, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you enjoyed them. These 5 tips that I've used to start my business to help get 2 mics up off the ground. And so far, they've helped me continue to succeed. So I hope you can walk away using these and put these in your back pocket. I hope you enjoyed, today's, 2 mics up King's Corner. Stay tuned, because we're going to be coming back with more King's Corner, more tips, more tidbits. If you have anything that you want to hear talk about from me, shoot me an email, damednydc, IG, Facebook, and Twitter. You can send us an email at vp2mikes@gmail.com. And you know how we do, ladies and gentlemen, at this time. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out. 007.